Our third Hall of Fame inductee built one of the state's biggest and most successful ad agencies, one that draws high-profile clients from all over the country to bring their accounts right here to Milwaukee. His agency's work has won more awards and accolades than one could possibly count, and quietly, behind the scenes, he's donated more charitable work to nonprofits than probably any other agency in the country. He never does things the easy way, probably because he loves doing things that others haven't done. Yes, he is the guy who built the log cabin conference room in the middle of our office. But he treats his employees like family, and his loyalty to them is immeasurable. And just to show you how little he cares about the limelight, he's one of the only agency owners who doesn't have his name on the agency letterhead. Instead, he is simply represented by the letter V. Here's a look at the remarkable career of BVK CEO and owner, Michael Voss.
Michael Voss began his advertising journey with the help of partner Don Birdsall, founding Birdsall-Voss Associates in 1984. Armed with a single client, Funjet, Voss played the role of copywriter, creative director, and president, immediately establishing the tiny upstart agency's reputation for doing great work.
We were all pretty young. We were a tight group. It was a nice little family.
Mismatched furniture everywhere, and the desks were cinder block legs with plywood on top.
The work that was being done in there and the people that were in there and how much fun we had doing all that work was outstanding.
He came in, first time I'd met him, and obviously had his big mustache, and I think I had a mustache. Everybody had a mustache back then, so that's what you had to do to get into the club, I guess.
And not only were we doing great work with really fun people, we did things outside of work too, which kept that like family feeling that Mike's always wanted.
But Voss had bigger plans for the young agency, which started with being a creative powerhouse. Soon, tiny Birdsall-Voss began to hit its stride and started to make a name for itself, cranking out hit after hit in the process. But Voss knew that if the agency was going to truly get to the next level, he would have to do something drastically different.
The only way we could get bigger accounts and more interesting accounts was to purchase other agencies.
The McDonald-Davis BVK merger at the time was so bizarre to everyone because Dick and Mike could not have been more different. But look at where it ended up.
And after finalizing the biggest agency merger in Milwaukee history, the one the experts predicted would be a disaster, Voss proved them all wrong again, and BVK, as it would eventually become known, quickly grew into one of the country's top 25 independent agencies, with offices around the country. And while it grew in size and stature, soon topping over 200 people, its reputation also grew. Regional and national clients from all over the country started to come to Milwaukee for their advertising and marketing. BVK campaigns gained national attention for their originality and surprising results. And the underdog agency piled up more national honors than they had shelf space to put them, all while being led by the unassuming, blue jeans-wearing leader who simply had the ability to bring out the genius, the intuition, and the courage of all the people he worked with. But ask his employees what sets him apart from his peers, and they'll likely say it has nothing to do with business.
He is just a really nice guy, and he really cares about the people.
You know, Mike's one of the most generous guys I've ever known.
Mike is a very caring individual.
He really takes to heart the fact that people's livelihoods depend on him and the decisions he makes.
He has told me repeatedly how lucky he is to come and be with these people every day.
Actually, Mike, we're the ones that are lucky. Thanks, and congratulations.
And now to present tonight's third and final Hall of Fame award, please welcome to the stage the former president and general manager of the Milwaukee Radio Group, Mr. Tom Jarris.
Jake and John, you gotta love the wood cabin, right? The log cabin. Nice touch, right? When I was asked to present Michael for the Hall of Fame Award tonight, my first response was that I wasn't sure that I was available, and they responded back to me, and I said, there must be someone else that you can ask, and they said, we have asked a lot of people, and that's why we're asking you. So I needed to do that just to set Mike back a little bit because, I don't want him to get a big head. That's a great video presentation, and it says a lot about the success of the company, BVK, and a lot about Mike as a person. But I don't think Mike will ever get a big head. I've known Mike for 35 plus years, and today he operates and is the same individual as he was 35 years ago. He's humble, unassuming, funny, great business guy, and a great family guy. So to worry about him losing or getting a big head is not a concern. When you walk out of the elevators at BVK, there's a sign that says ego. And it says this is the only place you'll see it. And that's how Mike operates his company, is there are no egos. They all get checked at the door. And the company that he's operated for all these years has been built on basically who he is. And I see tonight so much of his family is here. He's a family guy. And he has the same family culture at BVK. The company itself has a culture that is, I guess, envious of a lot of people. A lot of companies, a lot of ad agencies would love to have that. Some people actually think they have that culture. They think they have a family culture. And then you talk to their individuals and their family, and they don't. Or some people want to have that culture. Mike has that culture, and he's put a lot of investment in that culture over the years. And he's done it by himself. Gary mentioned earlier that unconventionally, the video says unconventional. I'm not sure what that means. I think Mike is more conventionally unconventional. And I think they're talking about the kinds of clients he went after, weren't sexy, weren't big enough, the kind of people he hired. He wasn't always poaching the competitor for their talent people. He was finding a way to develop his own talent, whether it was college kids or kids who are coming out that he could transfer into another department. And he did it by helping out them, nurturing their genius, nurturing their courage, and just nurturing their ability to think on their own and be the talent that they are. All the awards you're seeing tonight for BVK is very typical. And the awards that are presented to them, I mean, there isn't, as I said, there isn't enough wall space or shelf space or to show the awards. And if you walked into BVK, it's not about the awards, it's about the people. The people that work for Mike and that he's developed and nurtured over the years are people that care about others. It's an extension of his own philosophy. They care about others, and if you walked in their hallways, you'd find that their people are very sensitive to one another, to fellow employees, sensitive to their supervisors, certainly sensitive to the clients, but they're like secondary. The people come first. And I think Mike has done a fabulous job developing that culture over the years. All right, I can't reach under my glasses. I'm sorry about that. Mike is also, one of the things I remember about Mike is that he's a funny guy, he gets a sense of humor. When we, about a year ago, we were together with our wives, and we were with a third party. The guy's name is Mike Crivello. Mike Crivello Camera Centers. You remember the jingle from 35 years now, Mike Crivello's Wonderful World of Cameras. And Mike Voss went up to Mike Crivello and started talking to him about his business as if he didn't exist. And I looked at Mike and I thought, geez, this is Mike Voss. He's BVK. He must have heard of Mike Crivello's Wonderful World of Cameras over the years. And then I realized what he was doing. The next thing he said to Mike Crivello was that, do you need a new ad agency? Can I help you out there? So Mike was being subtly unsubtle and trying to get the attention of a guy. He wasn't serious, but he was, made a point that he was always looking for new business all the time. The serve marketing that you see is also something that's exceptional for BVK. You don't see that a lot, and as Gary said, it's very rare. that's an extension of Mike's generosity. What they've done over 15 years, over $15 million in contribution in talent, in time, and resources is significant. And the talent that they provided for that, they could have put to their own bottom line. They could have used for their own paid clients and had success that way. But that's a part of who Mike is the generosity and what he does. And the staff recognizes it, and that's how he operates. And what you do in his business, obviously it's a successful business, but what he's been able to do is create a difference and make a difference in so many areas where you have non-for-profits that don't have the ability to do what they do without the help of BVK. Next week is Mike Voss's 60th birthday, so what a great way to begin that 60th celebration. And tonight, recognizing him, not only for all that he's done as an individual, as a person, Mike is a superb human being. He's a good man. He's a wonderful husband to his wife, Donna. And this is another example of Mike marrying way over his head. And I know that for certain because I'm the same kind, and I know others like that. And Mike is a fabulous father to 3 daughters, to Sam, to Andrea, and Michelle. So with this privilege that I have tonight to present the award, I am truly privileged and honored to welcome the newest member of the Wisconsin Advertising Hall of Fame, new inductee, Michael Voss.
I don't have any prepared notes tonight. When I asked Gary if I had to give a speech, he said, yeah, you've got about 2 minutes to say thank you, which is quite honestly generous because in the agency now, that's 1 minute, 30 seconds more than they give me to write copy. They don't let me back there anymore. But I do have memories, and I don't know what you take with you after all of this, but there are memories that you have that this industry gives you that you can't explain sometimes. First, I have to thank my family and my wife. So many memories, so much support. Although sometimes you do wonder. I remember at one point I had done something stupid, which is pretty normal for me. And my sister-in-law, Danette, says, how can you run a successful company and be that stupid? And I looked at her and I said, Danette, it's advertising, it's not brain surgery. And you move through, and my first partner, Don Birdsall, who was 20 years my senior, I remember when I think we were one of the first agencies to bring the Macintosh computers into the agency. And at the time, there were these big boxy things, and Don had never seen a computer. And you know, you go to the bank and you sign your name on the dotted line, you put your house up, you know, because the bank never wants to take any, you know, they don't have any faith in you, they want collateral. So we get these things in on a weekend. I don't know, I think we had 8 of them. Not because we were terribly innovative, but I think we were small enough we could actually afford to give everybody one of these things. And they came in on a weekend, and Don comes in with me. Remember, he's 20 years my senior at the time, but he's got faith in me, I think. And at the time, they didn't come preloaded with software. You know, there was a DOS program on there, and the only thing that it came with was a name the capitals of the states program. So he says, well, let's see what it can do. Well, that was the only thing that was on there, so we got through about 10 states, of which I think we got 5 wrong. And I remember him looking at me and going, it does do more than this, right? How little he could have seen how far this technology has taken us. And I think to all of those that I have touched, and for those of you that have touched me, those memories are something that I can't trade for any amount of money. I think Gary told me with Serve Marketing, we've given over the years something like $15 million back to the community for underserved charities. And thank you. But the truth is, it's because of a lot of you. I saw Tom Dixon's name on some of that stuff. And there are a lot of people that collaborate with that. That's not a BVK thing. That's us as an industry that's giving back. And we've always been very good at that. And I guess finally, I think I'd like to say thank you to the clients. You know, we come here to celebrate, and I look at all of this, and we, you know, for Bob and I, we've been at this a long time, and we've seen a lot of ad club meetings, but I think we never give, we talk about the client making the logo bigger. I see Jake Leinenkugel, and I think about how gutsy it is to give us tens of millions of dollars without a guarantee, without anything. They put that money on the line because what? We came up with an idea on a paper napkin? You know, we'd like to think there's a lot of art and science, but you have to give so much credit because those clients give wings to our dreams. They give a foundation for our ideas, and without their guts and without their ability to take that risk that frankly, I don't know how many of us would take, we wouldn't be here tonight. So I just want to say thank you to all the clients out there that make this possible. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know two things. One, I guess now Bob and Jake and I are going into this hall. I don't know what that is exactly. But I'm going in there with a guy, I know Bob has connections with the grocery industry, and I got a self-described beer guy. Neither one of them can golf, so I think we're going to be watching a lot of football in there. And lastly, I want to thank you for this, because as Gary said, we've got all these awards. He never lets me take any of them home. And this is going to look really great to that fantasy football toilet bowl trophy I have on my mantle. Thank you very much.